Well, welcome VC Bob. We are doing a label interview, which is quite exciting because we've never done this before.
Well, that's very kind. I'm delighted that you're here talking to me.
So, how have you found this year's group of freshers?
So they're very enthusiastic. I think right here, right now, some of them are a bit tired, but most of them have certainly thrown themselves in to both work and play. I saw most of them as they were moving in. I tried to get around the halls of residence, and I've seen one or two of them walking around the campus. One or two still look slightly lost, but most of them, with typical Loughborough verve, seem to be full of energy.
Yeah, that's good. Do you think any of them this year have the potential to be future Loughborough leaders?
So that's a very interesting question. I often think it's quite difficult to work that out right at the start of term. No matter what people say, I suspect virtually everybody's slightly nervous when they arrive here. And of course, for the first week or 10 days, people are still finding their feet. But I've absolutely no doubt that there'll be some outstanding leaders amongst them.
For this freshers, I'm sure you've been walking around and getting involved in everything as usual. Have you kind of enjoyed any of the events particularly?
As I've already mentioned, I went along to as many of the halls as I could get to on move-in day. And that was as much to say thank you to the hall committees and the freshers helpers, all in their T-shirts, and meet some of the new students, and of course their mums and dads and others that have been bringing them here. I've been along to see some of the early sports training sessions, and indeed I'm delighted to say that some of the students who are now in their latter years here under coaching have asked me to go along to some of the coaching sessions or to watch some of the sport. I went along, I couldn't get to the event, but I went along to meet the committee of the LGBT plus society just before their meeting, partly because, believe it or not, they wanted a selfie with me that they could put into their first year presentation. And Chris MacLeod, who's the chair of the LGBT plus society, dropped me an email afterwards to say that it had all gone well. Believe it or not, they'd had nearly 150 people turn up, which I think is excellent. And then the other thing that I do, as you're probably aware, is as I'm walking across the campus, I'll often stop students and just say hello and ask them how things are going. And I've had some lovely conversations. And most importantly, every single one of them says that they're enjoying being here, and they're enjoying all the things that were put on over freshers for them.
That's really good to hear. For the plans at Loughborough this year, do you have any kind of insight into what's going on campus, or are you excited about plans we've got?
The first thing is our new hall of residence that you've probably seen is coming on stream, and with that the Elite Athlete Hotel. Our Chancellor, Lord Coe, will come up to open that. That's in November, and I am delighted to say that hall of residence is the first hall we'll have that will be named after a woman, Claudia Parsons, who was an outstanding engineer of her generation, and of course a Loughborough graduate. So that's good news. We're now in some detailed planning stages of developing a new Students' Union building. That will be a very significant project that could well cost us in the region of 25 to 30 million pounds. But the students deserve it here. And the other thing which I'm very keen for us to continue to work on here at Loughborough is alternative ways of delivering the curriculum, particularly using new technologies. There's something about lecture capture now where that should be seen as a norm. That's nothing special. So it's not just about students using lecture capture where they need to go back and check on things, but it's about staff also using lecture capture so they can improve the quality of the lectures that they're giving. And that's something that I'm very keen on developing more this year.
Yeah, no, that sounds brilliant. So kind of last question. If you had one piece of advice to give to the freshers, what would it be?
Work hard and play hard. One of the things that many of the freshers will remember is if they came to the Why Loughborough talk that I give at Open Days, one of the things that I say is if you're interested in whether your student study bedroom has a television point in it, don't come to Loughborough. That's not because it doesn't, of course it does, but the point is, if you dive in head first and get involved in the sorts of opportunities that are around at Loughborough, we do those things and we achieve those things because students both work hard, that's got to be taken as a given. You've come here to study, but they also get involved in all sorts of other things as well. And if I was perhaps to give just one final thought, is if there's a first year who perhaps hasn't grabbed those opportunities yet, my advice to them would be, it's not too late. There are still opportunities to go and get involved. You never know. You might find a new hobby or an interest that was sparked while you were at Loughborough University.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm sure we'll see you around campus. I'm sure all the freshers will see you around campus. And we'll see you guys next time with another label interview.
That's lovely. Thank you very much.